Good morning, class. Today we will be listening to a presentation about Puerto Rico's relationships with the U.S.
Hello, my name is Alexander. And my name is Eddie. To start off, their relationships are complicated. Puerto Rico became a U.S. territory in 1898. It is currently a Commonwealth of the U.S., which means that it is an insular area established by the government which has a highly developed relationship with a mutual agreement. First, in Puerto Rico, there was Spanish colonial rule, but it was not complicated like with the U.S. Well, at the start they did have slavery. Then in 1897, the Spanish agreed to the Carta Autonómica, making Puerto Rico an overseas province of Spain, which allowed Puerto Rico's first semi-autonomous government. Puerto Rico's government began to function on July 17, 1898, but Spanish and the United States were already at war by that time. During the war, the United States was growing. So within the 19th century, native populations wanted to extend the U.S. Most of the American people wanted to expand the U.S. with no limits all the way to the Caribbean and beyond. Someone called Mahan argued that a way they could rise to greatness by becoming a naval power with colonies with naval bases through the world, including the Caribbean. Just 2 months after Puerto Rico's new semi-autonomous government was inaugurated in February of 1898, the U.S. went to a war with Spain. 8 days after Puerto Rico's successful semi-autonomous government, they got invaded by the United States military. After the war on August 12, 1898, Spain and the United States agreed to terms of peace, but officially ceded Puerto Rico to the United States. Leo Hanna and Manuel Zeno Ganandia were Puerto Rican commissioners that wrote several letters saying that they were unhappy with being under the control of the United States. Now we are going to time travel back to when Puerto Rico was discussing with the United States their independence. In the count of 3, we will be there. On 1, 2, 3. Now.
Wow. Who are you?
Hello, I'm Alex. And I'm Eddie.
Okay. So Puerto Rico wants to declare independence. Let Jose Julio Henna have his words.
Hello everybody, my name is Jose Julio Henna, and I would like to declare independence for Puerto Rico from the United States. We Puerto Ricans feel that we don't need to be favored, but we need to have justice. We really don't like how we are under the military control of the United States. So we think that independence is a good idea.
No. We're not doing an independence for Puerto Rico. It is a good idea to have Puerto Rico with us. You can be one of the best islands in the West Indies.
But as I said, Puerto Ricans want justice, not favors.
We're not doing an independence for you. Sorry.
Then how about Puerto Ricans should at least the same rights as all citizens in the United States, just like Quintao gave the same rights to Louisianans, Floridians, Mexicans, and Alaskans when they became a part of the United States.
Sorry, but we're not giving you the same privilege.
I just wish you never had this war with Spain. Then this would have never happened.
This is very unfair. Yeah, very unfair.
I guess I'm done.
Gosh, I feel bad for Mr. Hanna and the other Puerto Ricans. Sad. Now we are going to travel to April 12, 1900, when President William McKinley signed the Organic Act.
Good afternoon, I am President William McKinley. Who are you?
Hi sir, I'm Alexander. And I am Eddie.
So I signed the Organic Act with its sponsor Senator Joseph B. Foraker. This Organic or Foraker Act will end up all rule and establish a civil government on Puerto Rico.
That is really good. Yeah.
But I will appoint Puerto Rico's governor and executive council. Still, Puerto Ricans will be able to elect their own 35-member House of Representatives. They will also be able to enjoy a judicial system with a Supreme Court. Then every sit-in commissioner will be sent to the United States Congress. But we will vote for them. They still won't have voting power. This act is only for citizens of Puerto Rico, not for everyone in the United States.
Sounds kind of fair. Bye.
Bye and have a nice evening, Mr. Alex and Mr. Eddie.
In May 1, 1900, the civil government began to function. It was following the inauguration of Governor Charles H. Allen. Federico Digital was a Puerto Rican commissioner who went to Washington, D.C. to fulfill his duties. We will travel back in time again to 1917 when President Wilson signed the Jones-Chevron Act into law.
Good afternoon, my name is Woodrow Wilson and I am the President of the U.S. Who are you?
Hello, my name is Alex.
And my name is Eden.
I signed the Jones-Chevron Act into law. We will change Puerto Rico's status to an organized but unincorporated territory.
Good afternoon, my name is Las Minas Rivera, and I first favored Puerto Ricans' independence. But now I think we should push autonomy for Puerto Rico from U.S. rule. I think that the United States should have a different kind of empire. If Puerto Rico remained a colony from this old empire, the United States won't be as England, Greece or Rome. You can still be an extraordinary country. We might someday become an independent country like Cuba and Panama.
It might be benefit to the American empire. We will think about it. So let's talk more about the Jones-Chevron Act. This act will create a more autonomous project for Puerto Rico. It will allow 3 branches, much like the one in the United States. Thank you for your attention.
Bye.
Bye.
By Mr. Alex and Mr. Eddie.
Yeah, bye.
After the Jones-Chevron Act, Puerto Ricans elected the members of a bicameral legislature. But Puerto Rican women were not allowed to vote, just like most women in the United States. The Jones-Chevron Act also gave rights to Puerto Rico. It extended many of the United States' constitutional rights, but not all of them. Then people hoped that the United States would live up to its ideals of democracy and justice, and find a solution for their relations with Puerto Rico. But one day in the early 1920s, Pedro Albizu Campos returned to Puerto Rico. He saw that Puerto Ricans were in the middle of trying to remove the American governor who was pursuing a harsh 100% Americanism. This meant that the United States still didn't give Puerto Rico a fair solution. He was later elected president of the Nationalism Party in 1930 and began to pursue independence for the island of Puerto Rico. Puerto Ricans hoped that President Roosevelt would choose a new governor that would bring economic recovery to the island of Puerto Rico. But instead they got Landon Winship, who bent on destroying Puerto Rican Nationalist Party. In October of 1935, a police shot and killed 4 nationalists on the University of Puerto Rico's Rio Piedra campus. As revenge, 2 nationalists assassinated Police Chief Colonel Francis Riggs in February of 1936. Then the nationalists got killed, and it ended overthrowing the United States government in Puerto Rico. The Riggs assassination actually put legislation for Puerto Rican independence for the first time, and a bill for Puerto Rican independence was introduced. A friend of Riggs was offering independence, but for a price. This Riggs assassination brought a lot of trouble with their relationship, since Puerto Ricans were being taken some rights and more assassination happened in the following years. Luis Munoz Marin was head of the Popular Democratic government in Puerto Rico and decided to go help the United States during the duration of the war. Resistance from the Americanization in Puerto Rico was put into pause. After World War II, the United States decided that the age of empires was over. Puerto Ricans now wanted to make claims of their own self-government inspired on the United States respecting all their rights on the people of their government. We will travel to February 10, 1843 when Luis Munoz Marin adopted a concurrent resolution.
Good afternoon, I'm President Franklin D. Roosevelt. It's the end of the 1930s and nothing has been resolved in Puerto Rico. We need some war effort for World War II. I think it's a good idea to have a peaceful Puerto Rico that can contribute in war effort. I will have to remove Landon Winship from office and replace him with William Leahy. Who are you?
I am Alex.
And my name is Eden.
Alright, continuing from where we have left. We know that there have been a lot of problems with relationships with the United States and Puerto Rico since the Riggs assassination. This can't keep going on. I will remove Landon Winship because he was unfair with Puerto Ricans. Therefore I am replacing him with President William.
Aiden and I are leaving now. Thank you for letting us stay. Bye.
By Alex and Eddie.
Munoz Marin decided to join forces with Senator Teetings, who was ready to file his third bill for Puerto Rican independence by 1945. On October 16, 1945, President Harry Truman sent a special message to Congress calling for legislation that will become the Pinero Bill. With the Pinero's Bill, Puerto Ricans were able to choose from three options: independent statehood or an associated state or domain.
This provisions for an associated state laid the foundation for the eventual Commonwealth status that Puerto Rico would assume in 1952.
We will travel to July 3, 1950, when President Truman signed public law.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is President Harry S. Truman.
Hello, my name is Alex. Hello, my name is Eddie.
I signed the Public Law 81-600, which will allow Puerto Ricans to write their own constitution. And by 1952, the Constitution of Puerto Rico will stable the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico.
All right. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
So Puerto Rico was established as a commonwealth which allowed the United States to claim that Puerto Rico was no longer a colony. Puerto Ricans have been living with a gag law which prohibited speaking in favor of independence, in the contrary of the United States or even posses a Puerto Rican flag. There were people who got arrested for violating the gag law in 1950. Albiza campus, now out of prison, wanted to start a revolution. Governor Luz Marin called in the Puerto Rican National Guard and destroyed Jaya and started arresting nationalists. Later, the gag law was used for arresting people speaking in favor of independence. And people wanted to elect their own governor. Puerto Rico ended up being a part of a colony of the United States. From 1961, people started counting for the Commonwealth status. In 1961, most Puerto Ricans voted to maintain their Commonwealth status. In 1991, Puerto Ricans voted not to review their Commonwealth status. In 1993, most Puerto Ricans voted for Commonwealth. In 1998, most Puerto Ricans voted for statehood. In 2012, Puerto Ricans were asked to vote again for their status. Let's travel in time again to see their wishes questions.
Good afternoon. My name is Obama.
Hello, President Obama. My name is Alex.
Hello, President Obama. I'm Eddie.
Nice to meet you both. For the first time, we will ask Puerto Ricans for their wishes in three parts. We will ask if Puerto Ricans want to remain a United States territory or, depending on the first part, we will provide for Puerto Rico's statehood, independence, or sovereign free association.
Yes, you have. We have voted and most of us voted for statehood.
So, that's how it is.
Noted, thank you.
In 2017, most Puerto Ricans voted for statehood. Today Puerto Rico remains as Commonwealth, but Puerto Ricans' relationship with the United States is being debated. Thanks you for listening.